Hi, my name's Nick Burnham and I'm here for Motorboat and Yachting this month aboard a Princess V39. Now this is a model that launched in 2012, but it's interesting to note that there was a V39 in the range earlier on. Back in '94, Princess launched a V39, in fact it was the first of the V series range, and it was a massively successful boat for them. They sold over 15 years and 2 evolutions, 500 of that boat. It became the V40 and then the V42. But when they replaced it in 2009, they replaced it with a boat that was quite a bit larger and more substantial and certainly more expensive. That left a gap in the range for a new entry-level boat, as much as you can call a 40-footer an entry-level boat. And this is the boat that was brought out in 2012 to fill that gap. Now, where Princess were very clever with this boat was in the way that they priced it. They brought it in at under £300,000. It was extremely good value. In fact, undercut boats like the Fairline Targa 38 by about £30,000, despite being a bigger boat and a lot more modern. It had a hard top with an electric sliding roof as standard. In fact, the standard spec generally was good. You had a teak floor as standard, for example. You had a wet bar as standard. And the way that they kept that price down was for being quite clever about the way they built the boat. So for instance, there's only ever one engine option, and that's twin D6 330s, although that gives the boat about 37-38 knots, which is plenty. But where they scored was in the construction techniques, but we'll come to that in a minute, because what I'd like to talk about first of all is the proportions. What I think they got dead right on this boat is the way that they've laid it out. There's a really spacious cockpit area here, there's a seating area just in front of us, a double helm. And on later boats, this is one of them, 2015 onwards, they offered a small sun pad, but rather cleverly it didn't intrude into the seating area, they just extended it back over the bathing platform. It worked really, really well, but what's great is that despite all this cockpit space, there's no compromise inside. And where the quality really shines through is in fact when you go down below. Now, good though that cockpit is, I think where this boat really shines is down here in the interior. First off, again, the proportions are absolutely superb. There's masses of headroom, there's a great forward cabin, that's your master cabin up front, and that has ensuite access to a very nice heads compartment, which also has access from here to make it a day heads. Saloon area just here, of course, and the galley is opposite. But the aft cabin, again, there's no sense of compromise there. You go in, there's a nice lobby area, there's a settee, and then you've got 2 beds that extend back under the cockpit. But I come back to the quality aspect. I spoke earlier about the construction, and this I think is where Princess has been most clever with this boat. One of the things that they did was they brought out a thing called an integrated structural tray, and what that meant was that instead of moulding the boat and then putting in the stringers and then putting in the floor, they built the stringers and the floor separately as one unit so that they could make that whilst they were making the mould and then bring them together, and that cut down build time quite considerably, allowed them to build more boats, and that allowed them to not only reduce the build costs but also spread the development costs. And the result of that is the quality. I mean, this woodwork, for example, this was available in oak or the walnut we've got here, or cherry, but it is absolutely flawless. It's beautiful. If you look at the way the boat is lined, if you look at things like the Avonite worktops, if you look at the tiles in the bathroom, it's absolutely superb. You could come off of a £1 million Princess, come on here, and it feels exactly the same, and that's a really great feature. There's just no sense of compromise at all. When this boat was launched at the London Boat Show, I reviewed it and I said this was every inch of Pucker Princess, and I come on here a few years later and I still stand by that.